Hello and welcome along to the ProjectCars2 Virtual Racing League, where today, as you can see on the screen there, offering a tantalising prospect, the Indycars are back with us on the league, and it's the PS4 group tackling them with a brand new championship starting today. Week 1 is Willow Springs and Texas Speedway coming your way shortly now, and then the second week we've got Laguna Seca, Indianapolis, famous circuits, and week 3 Watkins Glen and Daytona Tri-Oval. So as you can see there, we're using a circuit each week, an actual circuit, and then one of those oval things then for the second race each week. But anyway, yeah, driver lineup. There's a good driver lineup for this championship. We got the recent champion Monty MC Momo is back on the grid. So is Stuart Davis there, Del Boy, Alex Brown, Welsh Chaff, Pixie, Mike Gunnin, Matt, Tyler, Atombomb, and then we got Murph Law, Cortez, and Icebreaker. Now Murph Law, if you're following the Xbox group, that is Loopy McG from that group. So welcome along, Loopy McG. And he's going to be changing his username, I think, soon on PS4 to reflect Loopy McG. But yeah, Murph Law we'll call him today. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on with this PS4 group, because they certainly had a very competitive championship last time, especially between Stuart and Monty MC Momo, and it's those two who lead the grid today in qualifying. It's Stuart putting it on pole position there by half a second ahead of Monty at Willow Springs International Raceway. Mike Gunnin's in third place there ahead of Murph Law. Cortez returns, he's got a good qualifying position there too, up in 6th position, or was it 5th? No, it's 5th it is, just ahead of Alex Brown, Welsh Taff and Matt rounding out the order there. So it'll be really interesting to see how they get on in these Indy cars after coming from the Genettins. Quite a bit different prospect, I have to say. So high downforce, high power, and there's a rolling start here, and they're getting ready to go now, and it's green flag, and away they go now, and it's Stuart Davis leading the way down to turn 1, followed by Mike Gunning, has had a great start. Monty's down to 4th by the looks of it, and off the circuit, that's Monty in the yellow car. He's off the circuit, and he's fallen way back down the order. Alex Brown making a great start there, up into 4th position, ahead of Monty. Murph is down to 6th, and off the track as well there, that's... I'm not quite sure who that was. It was a blue car. We're going to have to learn the colours throughout this championship, which driver's which. And that's Monty off again. Oh, he nearly loses control. And he's down to 6th place ahead of Welsh Chaff and Matt. But it's Stuart Davis who's leading the way, ahead of Mike and Cortez up to 3rd in that red machine. And now they're coming through the twisty section. This is where the high downforce is going to really come into play here through this part. And really trying to keep it pinned despite all the little bumps in this circuit. It's a pretty old circuit, this Willow Springs Raceway. And probably hasn't been resurfaced for a while either, so yeah, it's got lots of little bumps to catch the drivers out, and these Indy cars can be very nervy. And that's Stuart Davis really pushing the limits. You can see they're coming off that very long sweeping last corner onto the straight, trying to get the most exit speed as possible, but he's got Mike right in his slipstream, and there's Murph as well trying to pass Cortez. And Alex joining me in the commentary box today. What do you make of that, Alex?
Very scruffy start, especially around this corner, a few of them going off, but looks like Stu's not out the woods. You got Mike chasing him down in, I think he's in the Chevrolet, looking at the steering wheel on that. It's be quite tricky to tell the difference between the Chevrolet and the Hondas. They look almost identical, really. But nice to see Luke McGee jumping over now, as that's looks like one of the red cars, looks like Matt going wide. As you see Welsh Taff going around the hairpin. Tricky hairpin that, because it's sort of double apex, so you can get it quite easily wrong, but looks like there's a few battles brewing here. There's going to be a big slipstream war trying to keep behind the other car, but it's going to be hard.
Certainly will be, especially with this really long final corner where you're bound to have some turbulence from the car in front, such as the high speed there and the air really pushing the cars into the ground. But Murph there nearly losing it, and his car was not quite pushed into the ground as he wanted probably there. And nearly lost it on lap 3 of the 21 laps we're running here. And Alex, can you really use the curbs on this circuit? They look a little bit treacherous to me.
I wouldn't risk it, especially in these high downforce, probably quite hard suspension cars, especially with how high these curbs are. Hopefully we'll see in a minute, as that's another car going wide. It seems to be a theme at the moment, but you can see how sharp those curbs are. You don't want to hit those and just spin the car around, so you're safe for being on the tarmac.
Yeah, absolutely. And sorry, Alex, go on.
I was saying, it looked like Alex Brown going a bit wide there, but he's mounted the curb, so you can use it. So, but it looks like most of the people aren't.
Well, you know, Alex Brown, he doesn't really do much practice, so he's probably still learning which curbs he can and can't use. So it's probably quite entertaining to watch and to see exactly how he goes here. And this is a replay of the start. So you can see Stewart, they're blocking off nicely at the inside. This is Monty trying to go around the outside of Cortez and just gets a nudge off there, and just ran out of road, and he lost all that momentum as they come round the sweeping right hand. They're on board with Matt now. Let's have a little look what happens here. This is a great onboard shot from the driver's eye, and he just about keeps it on, doesn't he? And then you can see the cars going wide just up in front too. And with accelerated tyre wear here, and the prospect of the mandatory pit stop that they've got to do, it could really shake things out. And perhaps, Alex, what do you think? The drivers that are easier on the tyres might pay dividends for them today here?
You'd think they would, but it looks like they're constantly flat out at the moment. But yeah, a bit wide there for looks like Cortez, who's been put under pressure by Murphy. It's going to be hard to call try not to call him Loopy from the Xbox group. But yeah, tyres could be a big factor here, because you'd imagine they're on the they can switch to softs or hard. I think they're on the softs with the red band around the wheel, so those will be going quite poorly towards middle race, you have to imagine, with just the track conditions, especially going around the long last corner here. It's very tough on the left hand wheels.
That's actually a very good point. You can really get a good demonstration of that, actually, as riding on board with Monty there. You can almost see that outside tyre screaming going around that corner. And drivers were saying from practice that the tyres were only lasting about 7 laps here, the softer compounds, but the hards were lasting much longer. They were around a second a lap slower. So it'd be interesting to see what tyres the drivers decide to choose to put on. And once we get to another couple of laps time, we could really see drivers starting to struggle with the tyre wear and wanting to pit. So it'd be interesting to see who can go the longest on these softs. But then again, is it worth staying out if you're losing time? That's what the drivers have got to try and discover. And that's is that Murphy going off? Yeah, I think it was, in the blue car slash Loopy McGee. He just went a bit wide there. Maybe his tyres are already going off slightly, and that allowed Monty, the reigning champion from the Ginettas, to go up into 4th place. And he's really on the move now, is Monty. And now Murph has got Alex Brown for company. These two race each other in the Xbox group as well, don't they? So they know each other quite well. Alex Brown now really trying to line up a pass here on Murph, trying to get the last corner absolutely right. And you can see him taking a wide line through and trying to cut back. Oh, he runs really wide though. Oh, just about gets onto the circuit again. And he's in the slipstream now. You don't want to run too wide there, or you're heading straight to the pits, aren't you? Yeah,
that's the one tricky thing about this track is...
Oh, he's got him!
Ooh, inside there. Yeah, massive understeer there for Murphy. But yeah, if you run too wide on that final corner, don't catch up, you're going straight into the pits and disqualified. But big by Alex, just going down the inside of Murphy, who just understeered. Saying that, Alex has understeered off, hits that big dirt mound, and will that allow Murphy through? Oh, just touching, gets away with it. There's any visual damage, no aero damage on that car. But Alex wide again. Is he struggling on his tyres? It's lap 6, so like you said, the tyres will be starting to go now.
This is a great little scrap, isn't it, between two familiar friends and also familiar foes on the circuit, it has to be said. They do find each other on the track quite a lot. From the recent GT3 Championship we ran to, they've had a fair few battles where Alex was in the McLaren there and Loopy McGee in the Audi, and Alex running wide there, going again and running wide, but he just about gets on again. He's really playing with fire in that last corner. He has to watch what he does there, or he's going to, like you say, Alex, be heading straight into a disqualified speeding in the pits kind of scenario. And but he's still ahead of Loopy McGee at the moment, and Murph's really trying hard. I don't have to decide whether to call him Murph or Loopy McGee. Let's call him Loopy, shall we?
Murphy McGee I was going to call him, but
Murphy McGee.
Yeah, you see that Alex has moved from track side. Murphy just goes wide and that snips up the inside, takes position.
Yeah, nice there, and certainly saw that one come in, and it's about making the most of your opportunities when they come. And as the tyres starting to go off now, some opportunities could come some drivers' way. You can see Stewart there, he's got a nice lead now of nearly 6 seconds over Mike Gunnin in second. There's Mike Gunnin in the sort of green, almost like Aston Martin F1 green, isn't it, that one, in second place there. And he's really got some work to do, because Stewart's absolutely on a mission here, I think. And looking at the midfield battle now, Alex Brown's still trying to catch Monty, but Monty looks like he's away. He's got good pace as Monty, but yeah, at the moment, Alex, Stewart's really quick, isn't he? 102.6.
Yeah, I know he's put a lot of practice into this, especially after the disappointment of the Ginetta's coming in second, so he'll be desperate to make up for that one and try and win this championship. But it's only round 1, but it's a good showing so far of what could be to come.
Yeah, that's right. And also with this circuit, you've seen a few drivers have already gone off. Well, more than a few. I think pretty much all of them, maybe apart from Stewart, have at some point run wide here. Is that to do as well with the this circuit? It's not very easy to see in terms of the braking points, is it? You've got a few cones roughly round about there, but as you can see, it's quite sort of barren landscape. There aren't many visual cues, visual markers for the drivers to pick out, are there? So how do the drivers get around that?
Trying to put practice in, know where the marks are. Like you said, so you can use the cones, use the tyre marks on the actual tarmac itself. Usually you'll see where it's darker when it's braking, but obviously different cars brake different places, so you just have to learn and get used to the car. As we see Cortez now in the bright red machine there, take that corner lovely. Getting chased by Monty now, so Monty will be trying to get him for a podium position.
Yeah, you would have thought so, and it's the old Formula 1 system that we use in terms of the points, as Murph McGee comes in, Loopy Law, whatever he's called. Loopy McGee, let's call him that, the Scotsman. He's coming in now into the pit lane, and let's be interesting to see what tyres he goes on. He'll probably go back on he might go on the hards actually. It'll be interesting to see what happens here and how long a pit stop is, because at the moment we don't know, of course, so we'll see where he comes back out and where that is relative to his rivals. And this is Cortez now fending off Monty. Monty's really caught him, hasn't he? And it'd be interesting to see if Monty pits and decides to try the undercut here. We've seen that work very successfully in the Xbox group recently with the undercut. So we'll wait and see on this one, Alex.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, Sam, when Xbox did endurances, it looks like Loopy coming up now just ahead of Stu. That's very risky doing that. He should have stayed to the inside, let the leader go around the outside. He would have seen the blue marker on his map, so that was a bit risky doing that. But yeah, that puts Stu wide.
And Stu's wide.
But,
yeah, he's just back on the circuit though, and decides the grey bit is the better part of the track to be on. But he's coming up now behind one of the red machines. I think this might be Matt.
Oh no, not Murphy. So yeah, that would be Matt in the target car. So, very wide, both of them. So has their tyres completely gone?
Yeah, Stu getting some air there. Now this is Murph now on the fresh tyres, up to speed, nice temperatures, and he's going straight past Stu there. Stu's looking back on the inside though. Stu's really losing time here as Stuart Davis, and this is costing him because now Mike is caught up by a few seconds actually. He's only 4 seconds behind now, where he was about 7 seconds behind. So is Stuart coming in the pits? Yes, he is. His tyres have gone by the looks of it, and he gets that car slowed down nicely. And this is Mike Gunning now, screaming his way down the straight to take first position on lap 11 of 21.
So will he try and get a fast lap and then pit, as we see Stu going onto the hard tyres? You see the no red band on the sidewall there, completely black, so that's the harder tyre. So you imagine Stu's going to try and run the last 11 laps now on those set of tyres.
Yeah, but what will be interesting, Alex, is to see what his pace is going to be, because if Mike goes onto the softs, he's going to have a considerable pace advantage, as Alex Brown's in the pits now as well. We have to wait and see what tyres he goes on to. It looks like he might be on the softs as well, you know, so potentially a lot of the drivers here are going to the softs. We're halfway through this race now. They reckon they can get to the end on the soft tyres, and it's worth it with the pace advantage, but Stuart's gone the other way, so we'll have to wait and see what's the right decision. What would you do, Alex?
Hard to say. I was saying earlier, when the Xbox group did that's a weird pit exit, did the endurance race here in the LMP1 cars, it was the tyres became a massive thing. Soft tyres were too soft and they were burning them out really fast, so Stu might be thinking that, and let's see if what Mike goes on to. He might go on to softs, but has he done a faster lap to fend Stu off?
Yeah, this will be crucial. Remember, it's 10 points for first, 8 for second, 6 for third, and it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Mike's away now, and I think that's Cortez in the pits just behind him in the red machine. So it's Stuart Davis now coming down to the pit straight, and let's see where Mike is. I think it is, isn't it? Where's Mike? He hasn't left the pits yet, so Stuart goes into first position. But what's the gap going to be? It was 4 seconds roughly before, but it's going to be over that now because Mike's only just getting up to speed. Look. So it's about 7 seconds, Alex, and it's still going up that time whilst Mike gets up to temperature and everything. So Stewart must have really nailed his outlap on those hard tyres. And Monty now exiting the pit lane too.
Yeah, let's see where Monty comes out in relation to Murphy. He's 4 seconds up the road, so he's still ahead of him. But yeah, I think Stu just managed to get those up to temperature nicely and nail a fast lap to keep the lead. And if anything, gain some time.
Does seem like it, and it looks like as well. Oh, who's that going wide? That's Welsh Chaff. We haven't seen much of Welsh Chaff in this race so far, but there he is doing some rallycross in the Indycar. They're not built for rallycross, but he's making it work for him, and he just goes a little bit more there as well. Nice, kicking up some dirt, and he's away again now. He's in where is Welsh Chaff today? He's in third. I'm guessing he hasn't pitted yet.
No, I think he's one of the few that hasn't pitted, if not the only one that's yet to pit, so he might be just trying to run his tyres out as late as possible to go onto the softs again.
Yeah, quite possibly, and Murph's up to 6th at the moment. He's got Alex Brown behind him. So Alex Brown was ahead of Murph earlier on in the race, so something's happened there. Alex has lost time and he's ended up back behind him again. Correct me if I'm wrong, Alex, I don't think we saw anything on the screen, unless we're about to see something now. It's a replay. It says Murph in the exiting the pits here. This is when he got in front of Stu, wasn't it? Look at that, that was so close to being a big accident.
Yeah, it's a good thing that's a braking zone, as Stu would probably be already on the brakes, but I wonder if he'll get a warning for that, because that's dangerous driving in the eye of the Stewarts.
The Stewarts and the Stewards. And Stewart there would have been saying some choice words to the stewards within his helmet probably. And this is on board with Stewart again now. He's looking around the outside of Matt, and Matt just gives him a little bit of room, doesn't he? Stewart goes round, but then he decides to take it for some rallycross instead. Now, all kicking off here.
Good bit of air there.
Oh, look at that air. Extra points for that probably.
Yeah, 10 points for that.
Yeah. And then, but obviously Murph then gets him on the exit because he loses all his momentum. But Welsh Chaff is in the pits now. We'll have to wait and see where he comes back out. It looks like he's going to be battling Matt, quite possibly. Although Matt is quite a bit off the leader and he's still losing time. So Reader is in the pit, so Matt has disconnected or something. Because, yeah, look at that, Alex. What do you reckon? This is Welsh Chaff exiting the pits now. He's in 7th, but it looks like Matt might have disconnected. Oh, and that's Monty, is it? Oh, no, I thought Monty was off then. He's in 4th, and he's attacking Cortez. So it's a great little battle here for 3rd and 4th. And then just behind Monty, spun round. He's in the barrier. He's facing the barrier now, and he's trying to get going again. He's lost 2 positions to the Scotsman Murph and the Welshman Alex, and this is not good news for Monty at all. And the reigning champion of the Ginettas recently, of course, and he's back down to 6th now. And very unfortunate, but that's how close the field is. You make one little mistake and you lose 2 positions. And now Alex is trying to gain 1 position on Murph here. This is a great scrap down the inside. Oh, that would have been brave. Such a fast corner. And he loses a little bit of momentum as a result on the exit and allows Murph just to edge away a little bit. What a manoeuvre that would have been if Alex had made that stick. Very brave.
Yeah, extremely brave. He's might be have more confidence in his tyres at the moment and could just carry that little bit more pace. I think they've both done this track before, but like I say, it's a tricky track with not many overtaking spots, so you got to take your chances. And it looks like they're catching Cortez up nicely up ahead. So, well, at least Murphy is struggling with that corner. He's going wide quite a bit, which isn't helping him. So.
Yeah, it's one of those corners where you have to think about the one after it and not run too wide out of it, whereas you would normally drift wide coming out of a corner to maximise your exit speed, wouldn't you? But you got to stay left for the right bit.
Yeah, and
easier said than done, though.
It's trickier than you make it sound, especially in these cars. So they're so fast, you're thinking in 2 corners ahead before you've even done anything, just because they are so quick. As Cortez nips up a bit of grass there, trying to keep ahead, but Murphy will have the slipstream now, and that's Alex in the pits. So he's pitted again. So has his tyres gone already?
It does seem like it, doesn't it? And I think that we saw a red car in the pits there. That is Matt. He's out of the race for the looks of it. So Alex, yeah, he's eaten up his tyres. He's chewed through them. It's probably all that rallycross he was doing, exiting the pit lane. And we know he does like his off-road buggies, actually. He used to own a couple of off-road buggies. but he's definitely not in one of those today, is he? He's in a very stiff racing car, and he's coming out of the pits now, and he's in 7th and last position at the moment, having chewed up his tyres by the looks of it. So unfortunate there for Alex, but he will score some points still in 7th, if that's indeed where he finishes. There's 5 laps left to go. Stewart's got a commanding lead of 8 seconds over Mike Gunning in 2nd. And then the real battle is Cortez versus Murph. That's going to be fascinating to see towards the finish of this race.
Yeah, as we see a replay here, I think it's just Alex going wide and hitting that. Oh, really hitting that embankment and on his side. Not quite going over, probably just reset the car and away he goes.
Yeah, it's quite spectacular, that one actually. that inside bank in there is perfect for doing a little bit of two-wheel driving on the car, but he nearly made it look good. So in terms of, you know, one of those sort of stunt driving schools that you might see, and this is Monty trying to practice some drifting, but didn't quite work out, and he ends up losing a couple of positions as a result.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, just pushing his luck, and around she goes. With all that area, you think it'd be as grippy as an F1 car, but it's not quite at those levels. Looks cool, mind.
Yeah, it did actually, didn't it? And I guess the downforce just drops off, especially with these massive wings that you can see on them, the road course versions of these Indy cars, of course. Next we go to an oval, which will be the more slippery version of the Indy cars, so let's hope they all remember to pick the right car there and not stick in the road course version, otherwise it'll be about 40 mile an hour down in the straight. But anyway, back to the race today, another few laps to go, and the battle is still raging on between the red machine of Cortez and the blue machine of the Scotsman Murph, who's really hunting him down. He looks like he really loves these cars, does Murph, and he's really pushing hard to try and get a podium position here today, which would be a very nice reward for his first time in the PS4 group. And he's through, is he? Oh, side by side. Oh, that was close. And Cortez nearly got his nose cut off, and Murph very bravely and very forcefully decided to just take the race in line and said, I'm having this position, I'm having this podium. And Cortez now is the one with the work to do. Let's see if he can stay in the slipstream, Alex.
Yeah, it looks like the pressure just got to him, and Murphy's through, but yeah, I think his tyres might have gone the way of Alex, as he almost hits the pit entry there. And I think they're just completely shot at this point.
Yeah, it does seem that way, doesn't it? With only 4 laps left to go, though, I mean, you're just going to have to put up with it, I guess, aren't you? It's like there's no point pitting at this stage.
No, unless I don't think they're doing a fastest lap point. So yeah, it would probably worth just keep going, try and stick with 4th. These Monty's about 12 seconds back, so he's not a threat unless he's really gets on it towards the end, but he's not even doing the same lap times. If anything, he's going slower. So we see Stu coming up to lap Alex, is it? It's hard to see from this view.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see. He's certainly come up to lap someone, because Stu is in the lead, of course, and you can see he hasn't really had to fight anyone because he's had the pace, so he's just managed to look after his tyres nicely. And
Welsh Taff, I think.
Yeah, I think it looks like it, doesn't it? I think it might have been Welsh Taff. Yeah, I think you're right, Alex. And yeah, I was saying Stuart, though, he just hasn't had to fight anyone today, really, so he's just been able to just look after his tyres, and apart from a hairy, scary moment with Murph coming out of the pits, he's had a pretty clean run of things, and it looks like he's on his way unless he makes a mistake. But Mike, though, is holding the gap now. It's around 8 seconds it's staying at, and he was actually quicker than Stu the last time round. So let's not forget, Stu is on the hard tyre, Mike is on the softs. But it looks like there hasn't really been any performance difference between them, unless, of course, that all changes in the last few laps. But if anything, it's going to go the way of Stuart, with the softer tyres starting to wear on Mike's car, and that's Alex Brown. Still really drifting that car and really pushing hard, and a 304... A 103.4 he did on the previous lap. That's the fastest of anyone, I think, apart from maybe Mike. He's also doing the same sort of times.
Yeah, it shows the difference in hards, because early race pace for Stu was in the 102s, so now he's dropped to second and a bit on those hards, so it does show the difference in him. But Alex on the fresh tyres really got the pace at the moment, and he'll be trying to catch this man, but he's making it easy for him, but going wide like that.
Certainly is, but Alex hasn't given up, and Welsh Taff knows that, because Alex doesn't tend to give up on these sort of things. He just digs in, and Welsh Taff will be digging in hard now too. We've seen Welsh Taff, of course, being one of the midfield favourites over the last few championships we've run. He's really been there or thereabouts and often grabbing podiums. So Alex has got his work cut out if he wants to pass Welsh Taft today, and it's going to be a real good battle, I think, right to the end here. And they're both pushing so hard. You can see on the exit of the last corner there, really fast corner, and both kicking up the dirt on the exit, and you can see that gap visibly now coming down slightly between the two of them. Oh, Alex running wide there again. Look, that's how hard they're pushing. I think that behind there, Alex, is Mike coming up to lap them. So Mike here is going to have his work cut up to try and get past this peg, because neither of them will want to lose time to the other, will they?
Yeah, that's true. If he's smart though, what he may do is he's got big 20-second cushion to Murphy in third, so what he could do is just stay back a bit and not get involved with these two battling. But then there's the case of if they do tangle, is a bit wide there, Welsh Taft. Ooh, they almost hit. That's Alex gone very wide to the left of the track there. That allows Murphy through one of the cars, and I think he's gone on the inside of Welsh Taft. Yeah, Welsh Taft lets him through. What I was going to say is he wouldn't want to be behind him in case of tangle, and they almost did then.
Yeah, very nearly. I thought something was going to happen there as a cone goes flying. So a bit of cone abuse going on. But now this is Welsh Taft really under pressure because Alex Brown's got the inside line. He's trying to close it off, is Welsh Taft. But Alex is already there. Who's going to break later? Welsh Taft has the racing line and he swoops around the outside and keeps the position. But then he gets a poor exit though for some reason. And Alex is now still on the attack. Welsh Taft holding the inside once again. Alex going up high on that. Long sweeping right-hander. Welsh Taft knows he's there clearly, and Alex is trying everything he can here to try and get past with only a couple of laps left to go. They've got one more lap actually after this one they're on now. Oh, and he runs wide now, Welsh Taft, and Alex, where's Alex going? He's off into the grass and into the wilderness somewhere. Where is he? There he is. He's back on this grey bit now, and he's really lost a lot of time now. You can see that visibly he's lost a lot of ground, so he's going to have to push so hard these next few corners now if he wants to finish 6th today. But Stuart Davis isn't worrying about 6th place because he's led pretty much the whole race, and he's coming across the line now, and Stuart Davis takes the opening win of the Indycar PS4 League here today, ahead of Mike Gunning by around 9 or 10 seconds, I think it probably was at the end. Mike coming across the line now. He's had a pretty lonely race actually, just trying to keep Stu in sight. He did a pretty good job, but unfortunately it's only 2nd today. And Alex Brown, there he is coming across the line. He didn't catch Welsh Taft in the end, so he finishes in 7th with Welsh Taft in 6th position. And Murph is going to get a podium, Alex. Can you believe Murph on his debut in the PS4 League from the Xbox group is going to get a podium here today? Fantastic drive from him.
Yeah, brilliant drive from him. Here comes Cortez 4th, weaving, so he's happy. I think that's one of his highest finishes, so he seems to be at home in these Indycars.
Yeah, Cortez will certainly be one to watch in this IndyCar League, this championship. So, race 1, just confirmation there, Stuart winning that one, 102.3 fastest lap. You can see there, comparing the other times, he was quite a bit faster. So he had a nice pace advantage at Willow Springs in these IndyCars. Let's see how that translates to the ovals coming up shortly.
Yeah, it should be interesting, completely different philosophy for the ovals. As we see that it's Stuart 10 points from Mike with 8, and like I said, it's similar to the old full 1 point system.
And one man who will want to be on more than 4 points come the end of this opening week of the IndyCars will be Monty, the reigning champion from the Gianettas. He's got 6 points deficit already to his arch rival Stuart Davis. So he really will wanting to get in Stuart's slipstream and the ovals coming up now at Texas Speedway and see if he can make back some ground. So yeah, like I say, Texas Motor Speedway coming up now. So Texas Motor Speedway, and the starting grid for race 2 today looks like this. It's Stuart Davis once again on pole position after qualifying, ahead of Cortez in 2nd. So he is going well in these IndyCars, is Cortez. From his 4th position in race 1, he starts 2nd, just 2/10 off Stuart Davis. Murph in 3rd, very close. Look, only a thousandth of a second separating Cortez and Murph. The times are very close, of course, being an oval. And Mike there in 4th starting, and then Monty MC Momus down in 5th. Welsh Taft, and then Alex Brown. So let's see how they get on. It's a rolling start once again, coming up to the line. It's green flag, and they're off, and it's Stuart Davis still leading the way, just ahead of Cortez, Welsh Taff, Mike, Alex, Murph, and Monty. And Alex is still up there in fourth, but looks of things, good start for him. And Stuart Davis now, he's leading, but he's got everybody in the slipstream behind, which is a massive advantage around an oval, as they get all up to speed now. And Cortez is in second still by the looks of it. And who's this? This is Cortez in the yellow car, actually, by the looks of it. So he's changed colour, so that's going to be fun for us. And nearly a big tangle there. And kicking up some dust too as they touch the wall slightly. Going up high, and that's going slightly too high. Why have they all changed their colours, Alex? This is a nightmare, commentator's worst nightmare.
I think they're doing like like they do in the proper IndyCar, different sponsors for different races, so you get a different colour. It's a pain in the backside for us to remember. At least Mike stayed in the green and gold Chevrolet, but looks like Monty's not even started, and but I think Alex had the wrong car with that wing, because he's fallen right back. He's 11 seconds.
I think you're right there, because, like you say, he's really falling back now once the cars are getting up to speed. 240 mile an hour these cars are capable of. Mike Gunning just lifting off slightly there. He's nearly taken off into orbit, but he's in the slipstream of the yellow Cortez. And you can see just ahead there, Stuart Davis has got a nice gap, so he's really trying to break the toe of the chasing pack here. It'll be interesting to see if he can do that, because if he can, then it'll be really interesting to see what happens for the rest of this race. It's a 10-minute race, of course, bless you. And Mike here really in the slipstream of Cortez, and he's looking for a way past already. And now Murph as well is battling with Welsh Taff for 4th and 5th position. And I'd like to see Alex actually, to see if he has got that high downforce car, because if it has, then, well, we can pretty much write him out of this one, because he's going to be well down on speed on the straights.
Yeah, mate.
And Murph gets past Welsh Taff.
Yeah, Alex may as well be the safety car if he's got the wrong car for this. Oh, they touched us!
Oh!
Didn't he keep out the wall? It's not cut back to Cortez, but you have to imagine he got a shotgun straight into that wall, and he's back down behind Murphy and... Sorry, who's the other one? Oh, Welsh Taff. So he'll have to try and catch up to them, but it's going to be a tricky job catching up without any slipstream and a helper. But if he just worked with Mike in second, they could have reeled in Stu, because Stu has no slipstream, and they could have basically just teamed up, used the cars to pull each other along, and would have been right up behind him.
Yeah, and race control confirmation there of the incident. Mike Gunning and Cortez under investigation for that one. It's hard watching it live to try and assess that, so we'll just have to wait and see, I think, what race control decides. Perhaps we'll see a replay. But Murph is still in third there, just ahead of Welsh Taff. But like you say, maybe they can work together. And someone down on the inside there. Oh, Welsh Taff runs very wide, and he's lost a bit of momentum. It'll be interesting to see now if Cortez can close back in. But he's quite a bit behind. That blue car there, I think, is Alex. Yes, it is Alex. And look at the speed difference. He's getting past left, right, and centre. But the field is just absolutely swallowing him up on the straights with that high downforce wing.
Yeah, he's got no hope at the moment. He's pretty much like the bonus bonus draft as they go around the track whenever they see him at this point. But really unfortunate.
It's a service he provides.
Yeah, it's quite nice he's done that. But Stuart in the lead. Almost 2 second gap now to Mike in second, but Mike will be hoping the two guys behind him can catch him up, to they can, as a group, push forward and try and catch this man up.
Yeah, that's the thing. Stuart is by himself, of course, and so is Mike though. So it'll be interesting to see if the chasing pack, if they do work together, they might be able to, because the lap time difference can be quite astonishing, can't it? Between being in the slipstream and not being in the slipstream in these cars, it really can be something quite different. What, about half a second, maybe per lap, maybe even more, depending on how it works out for you. And this is a replay now. Alex, talk us through this one.
Yeah, it looks like Mike was going on the bottom lane, trying to get out the slipstreams as he had the whole shot on Cortez. Cortez goes down, didn't really move that much. I think it's a case of Mike going up, just sliding up on the bottom of Cortez and just putting him in the wall, which is unfortunate. And now Welsh Taff and Murphy, looks like Welsh Taff just goes on the inside. Great battle here.
Yeah, really, really good battle. Really tasty stuff. and Murph there just ahead. Yeah, just a slightest of taps, which you do expect in these cars, because going at these speeds on a bumpy circuit, they can jump left and right so easily, can't they? And I'm sure it's nothing deliberate going on. The drivers are very clean drivers, so yeah, it's just these cars are so tough to drive on a bumpy circuit at these speeds, isn't it, Alex? And look, just again, they're touching the wall there from Cortez just up ahead, and this has put him under pressure now. Welsh Taft, that is, putting him under pressure from Cortez, and Cortez all over the back of him. Now he's going to try and go down low, is he? Yes, he's trying to go down low and stay in the slipstream, and obviously he knows he's there, but he's going to try and block the inside line. But it's quite hard to defend on an oval, isn't it, Alex? Because no matter which way you go, your rival can just try something different.
Yeah, it's better to work together until the final lap, when you can sort of just try and basically have a straight battle for the checkered flag, because you don't want to be battling and lose the slipstream with the guys ahead, because at the moment Murphy's just gotten away from these two as they've started battling. I think Welsh Taft must have just tapped the wall in his interestingly coloured car. As we ride on board with Mike, he's still got Stu in his sight, so I think he's just picked up his slipstream, because he was almost 2 seconds, now he's half a second, so he's definitely got onto the back of him. So yes, you see Stu pull into the inside as fast as he can, try and break that toe, but only a matter of corners before he's right on the tail of him.
Yeah, I think you assessed that very well. He's just caught the slipstream, and Mike Gunnin now can see the target in his sight just up ahead. There's Stuart Davis, race 1 winner, and he's gone up higher, Stuart, and Mike's going to try and go down on the low bit, and he's got the inside line now, so we'll have to wait and see. Look, straight over the line. Imagine if that was a finish. It would have been a photo finish. And look, he just moves over there, puts the frighteners on Stu a little bit. Stu has to back out of it, and Mike has got the inside line and the lead now, so he takes the lead off Stuart. But the thing is now is Stuart will have the slipstream, so this might be a battle right to the last lap, unless one of them makes a mistake, because I can't see Mike pulling away from Stuart, with Stuart having the slipstream and riding on board now with this green machine. And you can see how close they are, and looking across at Stuart there, just edging ahead is Mike's green machine, coming across the line and then taking the inside line and taking the lead with it. And this is going to be a great, really interesting battle to see what happens here and how it unfolds towards the end of this race, Alex.
Yeah, this especially who will be ahead in the second to last lap, because that's probably the worst position to be in. So that was super close between the leaders. We go on board with Stu. You can see the quirks of online racing as Mike's bouncing about up at the top there in the corners. But you see, as he's going behind, front end sliding out, that's just from the aero wash. But as soon as he hits this back straight, he'll be right on Mike's tail, ready for this third and fourth corner, I believe it is, at Texas. And probably slipstream past him onto the last corner here, going over the start-finish line.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some oval expert watching this somewhere he knows exactly which corner it is, but if I'm honest, to me they all look the same on an oval. But that's Alex Brown with his giant spoiler down on the inside. I think he's gone all Need for Speed and just chosen the car with the biggest spoiler, but it looks like he's probably even got neon lights on that thing. And Mike is just bouncing around all over the place. If Stuart can see that on board, it's going to be even harder for Stuart. That's going to be quite a distraction if the car in front is lagging slightly, which it does look like to be the case. But he's all over the back of that car now, and he's going to go up high. Look, so he's going to try and go up high and then drop down for the back straight, which he does now. And he's got a great momentum here, and he's got the slipstream. But Mike decides to defend the inside, so Stuart's going to have to go out wide again, up on high. So this can give you the advantage coming off the banking, can't it? But it's very risky up there near the wall.
Yeah, it's really risky, because you can just slide out and put a tyre into that safer barrier in the corner, and it's going to snag you, and you're around or worse, spat out into another car. But these two have pulled a nice lead over Murphy in third of 10 seconds, so they'll just have to worry about each other at this point.
Yeah, and there are no pit stops here. Oh, Stuart really getting out of shape there. Wow, it was really good car control to wrestle that one back. I thought he was going straight to the scene of a huge accident then, but he just about manages to wrestle control back, and he hasn't actually lost much time at all as a result of that. So, that must have been heart in the mouth stuff for Stuart there. But yeah, like you say, they've got a nice gap back to Murph there in third, who's going very nicely. He's got a 6-second gap over Welsh Taff in fourth. but Cortez is all over Welsh Taff at the moment. And then it looks like Monty, we haven't seen Monty for a while. It looks like he's actually disconnected or something, or retired from this one, Alex. That's a big blow for Monty in the championship.
Yeah, I don't think he even took part after qualifying because he hasn't even set a lap time, but it really shows how fine the edge is on when you're driving these cars at speeds, with Stu almost binning it there and costing him possibly a win or second place. But they're coming up to either Alex or a lapped car there, but they're going to have to be careful as Stu goes really high on the bank there, just trying to probably get the cut back, but he didn't manage it. But he's all over the gearbox of Mike's Chevrolet.
Yeah, Mike is doing an absolutely fantastic job here of holding Stewart back. It must be so difficult to do this, but obviously no pit stops in this one. They have got accelerated tyre wear, so the tyres will be going off. Oh, really close. Mike put Stu down low there, and Stu had no choice but to take evasive action and go on the inside. That was very close to being a huge accident once again. And they're still battling so hard, and I think that's quite clear that Mike is not going to wait till the last lap. He's going to try and defend as hard as he can right now from Stuart Davis.
Yeah, there's probably only 1 or 2 laps left. It's only a 24-second lap, and there's not long left, but he really forced Stu down onto the apron there, and that's going to cost him a bit of speed, but he may be hoping to try and get the slipstream back. He's certainly within his Mike's slipstream at the moment. But is it too little too late?
We'll have to wait and see. They're coming across the line now, and it's Mike Gunnan who takes the checkered flag and takes the win just ahead of Stewart after fantastic defensive driving and after passing him halfway through. Great drive by Mike there to take the win. I think that's his first win in the league as well, so congratulations Mike and Stewart there. They're grabbing another big haul of points, so they'll be tied on points after this one with 10 points, 8.6 points system still applying to this race today here. So Murph as well, his second podium in a row. Now he's joined the PS4 group, so congratulations to him as well on another podium just ahead of Welsh Taff. And Cortez couldn't quite get past Welsh Taff at the end. There's only 3/10 on the line between them as well. And then Alex Brown got disqualified. I don't know what he did wrong, but maybe having his spoiler too big.
Yeah, he probably didn't really get through scrutiny and using the wrong car.
Yeah. That's a good point, actually. It probably was something like that. But yeah, let's have a look now at the standings after the first 2 races of this championship. So, like I say, they're joint on points, Stuart and Mike. That's going to be fascinating to see this battle, how that's going to unfold. Mike had a very strong Giannetti championship, but he's grown in confidence, and Stuart, of course, knows that, so it's going to be a great battle. But then the midfield's close too, with Murph, Cortez, Welsh Taff and Alex Brown. And Monty as well. Probably not the start he wanted, Alex, is it, Monty? But he's still in with a shot there. He's digging in hard in the midfield, and Matt there with 1.2.
Yeah, not ideal for Monty, but he's certainly doors in the first 2 rounds. There's 4 left, so plenty of points to come back and fight for this championship and try and get 2 in a row. But we'll have to see at the next 2 rounds.
We will indeed, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and then you won't miss the next lot of action that will be coming your way in the PS4 IndyCar League. So see you next time.